So, hello students. So in this now we are going to start with the credit second, that is chapter 5th, nitrogen metabolism. So basically the nitrogen metabolism, so it is needed, nitrogen is needed to the plants. So all plants are basically composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen as well as nitrogen and many other forms of chemical elements. So all these elements contribute to finally organize various biomolecules present in the cell. In plants, nitrogen is an important constituent of amino acids, proteins, enzymes, vitamins, then alkaloids and some other hormones also. So nitrogen is primarily present in the atmosphere, which is free as a nitrogen gas. Okay, so in the atmosphere, when you're saying the nitrogen present in the atmosphere, so in the atmosphere 78% air is made up of nitrogen, but most of the plants cannot utilize this atmospheric nitrogen. So the plants absorb nitrogen from the soil in soluble form, such as nitrate, ammonia and other organic nitrogen compounds. So when we think about the definition of this nitrogen fixation, so the process of conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into usable nitrate or ammonia is termed as a nitrogen fixation. So any natural or industrial process that causes free nitrogen, relatively inert gas, plentiful in the air, to combine chemically with other elements to form more reactive nitrogen compounds such as ammonia, nitrate or nitrates. So it is known as nitrogen fixation. So basically the nitrogen fixation, it is carried out by physiochemical and biological means. So about physiochemical, if you think, it is about 10%. Okay, and when we say 90% is by the biological methods. So what are the roles of nitrogen in plants? So nitrogen, so it is a part of all living cells. So it is an important component of chlorophyll, the most important pigment needed for photosynthesis. So it is a component of amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. So these proteins may be structural, being part of various membrane, or functional, the enzymes or the proteins, okay. So next is it is a part of nucleic acid. So the basis of nucleic acid, that is adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine and uracils, are nitrogenous molecules. Next is it is also a part of other important biomolecules such as ATP, the energy coins of the cell, we can say. Then nitrogen is also a part of various hormones and vitamins essential for plant life. So excess nitrogen may result in delaying the reproductive maturity in plants. For example, if we say it causes excess of vegetative growth and little fruiting on melons and the tomatoes plant, we can say. So due to the nitrogen deficiency, there is a reduction in cell division also, then cell growth and plant growth also. So the late flowering and development of anthocyanin pigments in various organs in the leaf petiole also. So these are the roles of nitrogen in plants. So next is so basically the nitrogen fixation is done by the two methods, we can say, that is symbiotically and the non-symbiotical ones. So when we say symbiotically, the symbiotical means the interaction with each other and the equal amount is being shared with each other, okay, with the help of each other. And non-symbiotically means they are not interacted with each other, but they take their benefit from each other, okay. So first we will discuss that there is a nitrogen fixation by the rhizobium. So it is a one type of bacteria. It is the aerobic gram-negative nitrogen fixing soil borne bacteria. It shows a symbiotic nitrogen fixation, symbiotic relationship with roots of family Fabaceae or Leguminaceae. So plants such as alfalfa, sweet clover, then pea plants is there, then garden pea is there, then beans plant are there, okay, etc. So the symbiotic relationship, both in this relationship, both the participating organisms get equal benefits. The most common association in rhizobia and leguminous plant is the formation of root nodules. Okay, root nodules have been formed at the root part. So in this root formation, it involves multiple interaction between free living soil, rhizobium, and roots of the host plant. Okay. So there are many steps have been followed to prepare the root nodules formation. So basically the roots of young leguminous plants secretes a group of chemical attractants like flavonoids. So in response to this chemical attractants, specific rhizobial cell migrate towards the root hairs and produce a node or the nodulation, the nodules we can say, or the nodule factors. So the node factors found on bacterial surface bind to the lactin protein present on the surface of root hairs. So the lactinoid factor interaction induces growth and curling of root hairs around rhizobia. So at this region, what happens? The wall degrades in response to node factors, and rhizobia enter the root hairs. So invagations of the plasma membrane by the infection thread is been formed in this. So this infection thread filled with the dividing rhizobia, that is a bacteria, elongated through the root hair and lateral branch to reach the different cortical cells. In the picture we can see the infection part, and then the curling of that root hair is being formed, infection thread is formed in that. So the rhizobia are released into the cortical cells either single or in a group enclosed by a membrane. So the infected cortical cells divide to form a nodules. Okay, so this is the formation of root nodules in the leguminous plants. It shows a symbiotic relationship between the rhizobia bacteria and the leguminaceae plant. When we say the mechanism of nitrogen fixation in the nodules by the rhizobia, so the root nodules are the site of nitrogen fixation which contains all the necessary biochemicals such as enzymes, then nitrogenase, then leg hemoglobin also, and energy required in the formation, that is ATP. So inside the nodules, the nitrogen fixing enzyme, that is the nitrogenase, catalyzes the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen to the ammonia. But this enzyme is very sensitive to oxygen, so it is damaged or become inactive in the presence of oxygen. Hence oxygen free zone is created by the leg hemoglobin. Okay, so it protects the nitrogenase from oxygen. About 16 ATPase, that is energy, is required for fixing 1 molecules of nitrogen. So in the first equation we can see the nitrogen fixation where the nitrogen catalyzing is used. Next is the ammonia is the first stable product of nitrogen fixation. Actually, two intermediate compounds are formed during the reaction. In the second reaction we can see, but they are highly unstable. Okay, the two unstable, that is the diamide, then hydrazine is formed, and the stable one is formed, that is ammonia. So in this reaction, the release of hydrogen is the byproduct of this reaction. So this reaction, it helps for the process of nitrogen fixation, enhances tolerance of legumes to abiotic stress conditions like draft or the temperature also. It has been proved in the 2009 and 2015 also in the metal stress or in the draft at the temperature stress also. So the ammonia produces at the end of this reaction, the nodule is protonated to form ammonia ions, that is a NH4, which is used to synthesize amino acids. So this process takes place through reductive aminations or the catalytic aminations and the transamination process. So these are the mechanisms of the nitrogen fixation by the rhizobium in the nodules. So thank you very much.